Hi, today I have a beginner level 10-minute Pilates practice to learn some of the basic Pilates exercises. Hi, my name's Mariah. Welcome to Wellthy Boss. Every week I bring you free barre, Pilates, and yoga workouts. So I would love if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Meanwhile, let's prep to get tone from our core, our thighs, our shoulders, all using no equipment, and we're gonna take it super slow. Let's get started. We're gonna start on a mat or just in a carpeted area. Something to protect your knees on the high kneeling position, and take a few moments just to come into an awareness of our breath. Taking hands to the ribs, maybe wrapping thumbs around the back of the ribs, 4 fingers around the front, finding a deep inhale through the nose, and then it's an audible exhale out through the mouth. Let's do that again. Nice deep inhale through the nose, and then pursing your lips as though you're blowing out through a little cocktail straw. So in Pilates, the breath is super important. The deeper that we breathe, the more we're actually engaging in the deeper core muscles. We're actually getting better work, more mindful work. Let's do one last deep breath here, please. Beautiful. And from here, hands are gonna come behind our head, releasing shoulders away from the ears, as we come into our side bending. So for that side bending work, we lift up and then over. So as you lift, you're lifting, reach across, and then strong breath back to the center. Good. Inhaling and reaching over to the other side. Strong exhale breath back towards the midline. Now, typically in Pilates, we will often reverse the breath from a fitness breath where we inhale on the exertion and exhale on the release. I'm going to use that breath a little bit interchangeably today. Most of us that have done any type of personal training or fitness work might have been cued to breathe differently. As long as you're breathing nice and deep, that's most of what I care about. Coming back to the midline now, we're going to take those arms out to either side as we come into our spine twist. Nice deep inhale. We're going to exhale and find a rotation, keeping those hip bones pointing forward. And release back towards the center on the in-breath. Exhale, take it the opposite direction. So both hip points are facing forward. You're shooting energy through those fingertips. You're trying to draw those fingertips further and further apart from each other. Good. Let's do one more on the other side. Perfect. Coming into our thigh stretch now. I'm going to take arms right in front of us. And if you have any knee issues, I want you to go really, really gentle with this. We're just going to go back, leaning back until we feel a little bit of engagement in those thighs, and then come back up. Good. Let's do that again. So we do not have to lean back very far in order to feel these thighs. And if you feel any type of tension in the knees, just make it a really small movement. Good. So we keep those hips super straight. There's no bend in those hips, just leaning back. Sometimes I call this one the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That's my own name for it. Good. Last one, please. Activating the fronts of the thighs, quadriceps. Super strong, and come back. Good. From here, we're going to make our way into a modified plank. So we're going to come down onto hands and knees. And just like we did with that thigh stretch where we had no bend in the hips, we're going to take the hips forward coming onto the knees until there's no crease in the hips. So typically what we sometimes see is a beginner will kind of send their hips back behind them. But in order to really get the full benefit of the abdominal work here, we want to take those hips so that there's no bend. So it's just like a super straight forward. That's why we call it our plank position. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. Fingers are spread wide to alleviate pressure on the wrists. Now, if being on your knees still feels like a little too much, being on the ground, we can always take our plank up against a wall where we have nice straight legs, and we just take the feet a little bit back. Now, the further back we take it, the more challenging it will be. So you're always more than welcome to take a plank, or in any other videos that I do that you might be watching on my channel where we have a plank position, you can always take this at a wall. It's just basically like the top of a push-up. Heels are lifted for even more engagement. You got it. So wherever you're doing your plank, let's hold for another 5 deep breaths. Continuing that Pilates breath in through the nose, audible out breath, just squeezing belly out in towards spine, making room for new air. Perfect. And then let's come back to all fours. Good. From here, we're going to make our way into a side lying position. So you can either have your head propped up in your hands, or you could take the head all the way down onto a long arm if that feels nicer for you. We're coming into our clamshells. So I like to keep my feet on the ground for this one, especially if you're a beginner. The heels are gonna stay together. So heels are together, toes come apart. So you're forming a little V shape with those feet. And as you do that, you're lifting the top knee up to the sky and then taking it back down. Up to the sky and then take it back down. So option with your top hand, you can take it to your hip or you can hold it in front of you. But I want those shoulders to be nice and open, so really stacking those shoulders. And then notice what the hip is doing. If the hip is rolling back when you lift the knee up, I want you to see if you can keep that hip kind of still and squeeze more from the side of the seat. Sometimes we want to try to rotate from the waist to help out here, but you should be feeling it right here, right where I'm pointing. That's where the work is, and that means that those hips stay pretty still. They don't move backwards. Good. From here, we're going to hold at the top. Now, could you extend that top leg long and take a little lift up and down, up and down. Good. You don't have to get super high with these. Even just a small lift or a moderate lift is going to give you some strength work in the side of the seat where we want to be feeling this. Good. Now, could you extend the lower leg long? Good. Top leg stays on top. Bottom leg joins to meet the top. Good. For it's a little lift. Use your exhale to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now take both legs down and lift both legs up. Oh, awesome. So this is all about the strength in the waist. So you should be feeling this in the top of the waist. Yes, you can do it. Here's 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. Perfect. Before we do the other side, we're going to roll over onto our back, taking this into a chest lift. So hands come behind head. You want to keep the elbows really wide, so you don't want to feel like you're pulling your head into your chest. Chest is lifting up and head is really pressing back into the hands as we peel head, neck, and shoulders up off the ground and then lower it back down. Good. So we find a C curve here, pulling belly in towards spine. And eventually one day we're going to be working our way up into what we call a modified roll up, where we peel all the way up, keeping our feet down though, that's the key, and then rolling all the way back down. So if that's available to you today, you can try it a little bit more advanced, trying to keep your feet down on the ground. Otherwise, we can start to work on that process, building up that abdominal strength by practicing this lower half, kind of our chest lift here. Good, let's do one more. Beautiful. Let's roll onto our other side now to do the side lying work on the other side. So we take the clamshells first. Remember, head can be in the hands. We focus on keeping that top hip there. You can even take your top finger towards the little hip, find that bony part on the top of the hip, and make sure that finger is staying put. If it's rolling back and forth like this, try squeezing a little bit more from the side of the seat, and that's where the true benefit of the work is. Pilates is all about the refinement and kind of how we do the work. It's not about the end result or how big we get that range of motion, because you really can make it so much more effective by just paying attention to those nuances of form. Good. Hold at the top here, extend that top leg long, and then we're just going to take it down and up, down and up. How's that Pilates breath? Are you still using it? Deep inhales through the nose, powerful exhales through the mouth. You got it. Now hold that top leg on top, bottom leg shoots out long, and we're going to lift it up to join the top. It's a lift. Lift. Good. Top leg doesn't move right now. In 3, 2, 1. Both legs come down, and then here it is. Best for last. Both legs come up nice and long. Press them down. Good. Point the toes here. Make this a nice long line. Shoulders are stacked. Hips are stacked. Let's do one more. Coming all the way back down. We're going to roll onto our back for one final move, our single leg stretch. So taking both legs up to the ceiling, let's lower the right leg down to about a 45-degree angle. We're gonna peel head, neck, and shoulders up, if that's okay on the neck, and then just interlace hands behind the hamstring for 2 breaths as we draw that leg towards us. And now switch. Good, we're gonna keep doing that, taking that sharp exhale every time we pull that leg towards us 2 times, and then switch. And then a lot of times in Pilates, we peel our head, neck, and shoulders off the ground like this, but I try to use a little bit of caution with this. Sometimes necks are not super happy with this. So I, more often than not, will keep my head down on the mat and just try pulling in a little bit deeper with my belly and breathing a little bit harder. And I find I get the same work without lifting the neck. So little tip there, if you carry any tension in your neck, and most of us do from kind of slouching in front of our cell phones all day, you can always feel free to keep your head on the ground and you can still get great work just by tuning into the nuances and pulling belly in, using that breath. Good, let's do one more on each side, and then peeling all the way down. Good. Awesome, you did it. I am so proud of you. Now do me a favor. We want to make sure that we're getting you set up on a workout program that is giving you consistent results. So you're going to want to hit that subscribe button so that we can get new workout videos every single week. In the meantime, I would love to hang out with you between now and then. I have compiled some of my favorite resources to help you jumpstart your wellness makeover, and they are all available for free. So if you head over to www.wellthyboss.com/starter kit, and I'll link to that in the description below, you're going to automatically receive all of my little goodies for you to jumpstart your wellness makeover, including a free 25-minute yoga and cardio circuit training workout, and you can't get that on YouTube, by the way, as well as a free monthly goal setting worksheet to help plan out your fitness goals, helping you stay on track, keep you motivated, give you that visual so that you know exactly what your goals are. And then also my Make Ahead breakfast recipe guide is going to be chock full of a month's worth of Make Ahead breakfast recipe guides that are low carb, high protein, super clean and nutritious, and they can all be made ahead for the whole week in less than 10 minutes. So check out wellthyboss.com/starter kit so that you can start feeling like $1,000,000 because you deserve it. Can't wait to hang out with you next time.